Guys, we've seen the comments in the YouTube section. So many of you guys are asking about the trade deadline. So many of you guys are asking about that. So we are going to get to it right now. This segment, NFL trade deadline, is brought to you by Wyatt Mag, who asked first thing in the show about the trade show. So this is the Wyatt segment. Shout out to him. Wyatt Mag, loyal listener, loyal viewer. This segment is for you. Big picture, Zach, did anything change in your mind winning this game against the Bengals for what they should do? You touched upon it a little bit with Breece Hall, and now you think the Jets should keep him. But do you think this alters what Muji and Glenn are going to do? And do you think it should alter anything they're going to do?
I should say my feelings on Breece Hall getting traded aren't necessarily different. I didn't think they should just get rid of him for the sake of getting rid of him. Like, if you're only getting a fifth-round pick, I don't see the value in trading away Breece Hall. But no, I don't think this changes the plans like wholeheartedly. I still think if you can get value of any sort for specific guys, like Michael Carter II's not playing anymore. If you can get a fifth or a sixth-round pick for him, like, sure. Even if it's, you give a seventh and you get a sixth back or whatever. Like, he doesn't have a role anymore. You're probably going to cut him in the offseason anyway. Trading him makes sense. Trading Quincy Williams in the last year of his contract, if you can get a pretty decent value, like maybe they can't get a fourth, but if you can get a fourth or, maneuver it to get a fourth, I think you do that. And so that's where I'm at. I still think they're not good enough to, like, keep all these guys. I think you have to look ahead and say, okay, is this guy going to be a piece of our team next year when we think we'll be better? No? Okay, let's trade him and see if we can get some draft picks now and use those draft picks later to get somebody who can help us. So, like, I don't think they should trade Quinton Williams, Jermaine, Will McDonald, like these guys, unless you get, like, a really, really impressive offer is where I'm at still.
That's the thing. That's what we've been stressing so much on this show, is that, and specifically with Jermaine, is that the Jets, we're playing the semantics game as far as shopping, not shopping, that sort of a thing. Jermaine was never going to be a guy. When I think about shopping a player or throwing a player on the trade block, that to me is the best, whatever the best offer I'm going to get for that guy, that's what we're going to take. So if you put Jermaine Johnson on the trade block and this team offers you a 3 and this team offers you a 4 and this team offers you a 5, well, you're taking the best offer you can get. When it came to Will McDonald, when it came to Jermaine Johnson, the Jets' stance with them was they needed to be blown away. So one team that talked to them in the NFC specifically about Jermaine Johnson had conversations about him and came away saying they want way too much for him, we're out. That was always the Jets' stance. We're not selling the farm. This is not a fire sale where guys are going to get our players for pennies on the dollar. We're willing to trade guys. We're willing to listen to conversations. We're willing to pick up the phone. But unless it's an offer that makes sense for us, the answer is no. For the players that the Jets have team control on. Jermaine Johnson, he's under contract for next year. Will McDonald, under contract for the next couple of years. Quinton Williams, under contract for the next couple of years. Those were players, Quinton, Jermaine, Will, that the Jets needed to be, they need to get their number, not the best number. Does that make sense? They didn't need to get, that's kind of what we're saying. They needed to get their number. To this point, those offers haven't been out there. And I talked to a coach who had been in conversation with the Jets about some of the players that we were just talking about, and he came away saying they're not getting dealt. His exact words to me were, they want too much. And this was a different team. This was another team from the one I was just talking about with Jermaine, and he came away, they want way too much. It's not happening. They're not realistic. And that's just the Jets saying we value these guys. Like, if you want us to give away someone we value, you got to show us, you got to make it worth our while. No team has been making it worth their while. With some of the other players that you mentioned, that's not necessarily the case. The Breece Hall conversation, it's more, do the Jets believe they have other running backs on the roster that can pick up the slack if Breece is gone? I don't necessarily know if that's the case, but a fourth-round pick might get it done. Quincy Williams and Michael Carter, those are the two that I'm with you. I've been led to believe those guys are much more available than the other guys that we were talking about. That's kind of all we have on the draft trade stuff, right? You have anything else you want to point out about trades? Or about
trades?
I'll
just say, like, I reported this the other day just about Quinn, like, I think there's a lot of noise around him, a lot of teams being interested in him. The Jets aren't trading him unless somebody bowls them over with multiple first-round picks is what I would say. Like, and that's to start the conversation. So that's what I would say about Quinnen, because I know there's been a lot of talk about him.
I think a lot of the talk about Quinnen too is probably because there's a lot out there about Quinnen. Quinnen's not necessarily being super happy at the moment. Like, there's a lot out there about that, and it went from like people close to him to now I think it's a lot of people have heard it and it's just starting to circulate, and that's just going to amp up the calls, and the Jets have a decision to make. You either move Quinnen Williams or you make Quinnen Williams happy. You make him happy by converting a large portion of his unguaranteed base salary to guaranteed. Real quick, Zach, did yes or no, you think the Jets make any notable moves? I would say Quincy and all those guys would count as notable.
Yeah, I guess if you count those as notable, I mean, based on how Muji's operated, I wouldn't even be shocked if there was a young player that he could get for cheap that he would add players to. Like, I don't think it's severely limited to them just trading away guys, is what I would say.